bend at 90 degrees.
Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Welcome to Paradise Academy. This is our Kids on Bikes RPG. This is Season 2, Episode 6, Little Slices of Death. And without Googling, I will give, this is purely notional, I will give 1,000 experience points to whoever can tell me the source of tonight's title. Primarily that's for the audience, but players, I suppose you can get in
What's
on
the
the
title?
Little Slices of Death. No Googling. All right, so in just a minute, we're going to get things going with our sixth episode here. A couple of super quick announcements. If you look up in the corner above where Jessica / Ann is, or Tamiko, you will see the domain pops that we have up there. Terrain Treats domain pops plus one the fun. They are, of course, the adversity token system for this game. They are the only way that the players can earn adversity tokens, which they can use to pad their dice rolls to have a better chance at succeeding. Or they can spend 5 domain pops for themselves or to make any other player roll on the D100 mystery grab bag. It is a D100 table of really good things, mildly good things, mildly bad things, and really bad things. Depending on
Usually
where you
bad things.
roll on that. We've had a few of those. So we'll see when the next one comes into play. But you, the audience, can help them earn these adversity tokens by subscribing, resubscribing, gifting subs. You could cheer 500 bits. You could tip $5. All of those things will earn them domain pops. Super quick reminder about the schedule. We've got our Kids on Bikes every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern right here. On Monday nights, you can catch us at 8 p.m. Eastern with Scribes and Scrolls. It is our Pathfinder 2e game every other Tuesday, with next Tuesday being our next game, is our D&D 5e game Sky Metal Iron Gods. And you can also find me once a month along with Ted over on Nerdarchy. Not this Friday, but 1 week from this Friday, we will be back with another session of The Old Guard, a Da Vinci Punk setting in which we are playing really old, fresh out of retirement adventurers for one last hurrah. And
They're all too old for this shit.
Yeah, every one of us. And
all
it is
all played
amazing.
by Danny Glover.
It's so much fun playing that game. So that's what we got going on for that. Looks like we've got a meta die here, so I'm gonna bump up your bonus die 40 to a 45, and then let's get ready to chomp some of these pops. Oops, I took away one too many. There we go.
My favorite thing.
Anyway, yeah. Let's see. Next announcement, of course, as is evident by the placeholder image, M is not able to join us tonight, but we will carry on. That'll introduce some unique, interesting questions for the whereabouts of M's character when they return. A reminder, or I guess a content warning and reminder, and all of that rolled into one. We are playing a game where the players are all teenagers and preteens, playing, kids going to school. But they're getting into some pretty intense situations. There will be some intense language, graphic depictions of violence, as well as this game in particular deals with some very traumatic types of situations such as car accidents, forms of mental or emotional abuse at times, bullying, and you need to be aware of that in case that's something you don't want to, you don't enjoy or don't want to be around. Please feel free to show yourself out, go watch something else. We will not be offended. But also know that all of us here at the table, we stay in constant communication with one another. We've had our safety tools. We've established our lines and veils. But we do have safety tools in place to keep everybody safe at the table should something get too intense for somebody. Know that we are keeping ourselves protected so that first and foremost we all can have fun in these games. We encourage you to find a set of safety tools that work for you and employ them at your own table, even if you're not playing a stream game or a game in public, just you and your friends in private. Doesn't matter. It's a great idea. Do not make assumptions. Finally, let me just give you another reminder that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference. Whether you believe it or not, it is true. We always talk about how there are different ways you might be struggling, different things you might be going through. It is okay to not be okay. It's okay to struggle, but it's also okay if you are okay. You're perfectly fine. You don't have anything that's bothering you. You're not struggling. Doesn't matter. Still a good idea to find somebody to talk to. Finding a therapist or a counselor, I think is a good idea for everybody, honestly. To have somebody that is in no way connected to the rest of your life that you can have as a sort of refuge and to talk to about anything, even if it's just for them to listen. I highly encourage you to look into that. If you're wondering where to go, how to find somebody, Jeremy has already typed !help in the chat. A couple of URLs pop up. They'll also periodically show at the bottom of our screen. They are findahelpline.com, or you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I would like to welcome you to Paradise, Michigan, and welcome you to Paradise Academy. Make sure we're all set here. There we go. Okay. We are inside the back of a hurtling ambulance, its sirens slicing through the din of evening traffic like a desperate plea. The intermittent flicker of the overhead lights casts a clinical glow over the urgent proceedings within this narrow mobile lifeline. Surrounded by medical paraphernalia secured against the walls, the scene is a harsh tableau of life on the edge. Center stage is Rosie, her youthful visage marred by the burgeoning signs of trauma, bruises blossoming across her skin, a stark contrast to the innocence they assail. Stripped to the waist to allow for medical intervention, she is a jarring symbol of vulnerability, connected to a heart monitor that sings a discordant hymn of survival against the odds. Beside her, kneeling with a warrior's grace, is Alex, a seasoned paramedic. His face is a mask of focused concern, eyes sharp with the clarity of purpose as his hands move with the precision of a conductor's baton, orchestrating a symphony of life-saving measures. He's already cycled through CPR and administered the initial rounds of emergency medication, yet the battle rages on. In the ambulance's cramped quarters, Ashley Gunnarsson is a study in controlled panic. A woman accustomed to steering the ship, now adrift in the tempest of her own fears. Her eyes wide with terror of potential loss, flicker between her daughter and Alex, seeking some semblance of command over the chaos. VFib on the monitor. We're going to shock her, Alex declares, his voice slicing through the tension. Charging to 200 joules. Ashley moves closer, her instinct to take charge wrestling with her fear. What does that mean? Her voice, though strained, holds an edge of authority, a lifetime habit of seeking understanding in the face of adversity. It means her heart is beating erratically. We're trying to reset it to a normal rhythm, Alex explains, his tone both calm and authoritative, as he positions the defibrillator pads on Rosie's chest. Stand clear. From the front, the driver, Mike, a voice of calm over the radio. ETA 2 minutes to General. Hang in there, Rosie. Charging complete. Clear! Alex commands, and with a deep breath, he presses the button, sending a jolt through Rosie's body, causing it to arch off the stretcher in a grotesque mimicry of life. Ashley's hand flies to her mouth, her eyes never leaving Rosie. Please, 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 she whispers, plea to the universe. Alex checks the monitor, his brow furrowed in concentration. No change. Increasing to 300 joules. Charging. Clear. Another shock. Another tense wait. The ambulance weaves through traffic. Mike's steady driving, a counterpoint to the high-stakes drama unfolding in the back. Come on, Rosie, Alex mutters under his breath, more to himself than anyone else, a rare glimpse of the man behind the paramedic. Ashley finds her voice, a blend of fear and forced composure. Is she going to be okay? We're doing everything we can, Alex assures without taking his eyes off Rosie. She's a fighter. Another shock. The monitor emits a continuous tone for a heart-stopping moment before it breaks into a rhythmic beeping. A weak but steady heartbeat. Alex allows himself a brief sigh of relief. His gaze meeting Ashley's. In his eyes, she sees not a promise, but a glimmer of hope. A bridge over the chasm of despair. We've got a normal sinus rhythm, Alex exclaims, relief momentarily breaking through his professional demeanor. As the ambulance continues its mad dash to the hospital, Ashley moves to Rosie's side, her hand finally finding the courage to grasp her daughter's. Alex focuses on stabilizing Rosie, the tension in the ambulance easing slightly, replaced by a cautious optimism. They're not out of the woods yet, but in this moment, there is life where there was almost none. Good job back there, Mike calls from the front, his voice a mix of relief and professional pride. We're almost there. Alex turns to both Mike through the rearview mirror and Ashley, who is clinging to every word, desperate for understanding amidst her fear. Rosie's injuries are serious, he begins, striving for simplicity without diminishing the gravity of the situation. She has several broken ribs, and it's not just a simple break. The bones are fractured in a way that make it hard for her to breathe and could injure her lungs. Her left thigh bone, her femur, appears to be shattered in several places. It's a very complex break, and her right forearm looks to have multiple breaks in it as well. He pauses, gauging Ashley's absorption of the information, then continues. She also has a lot of bruising and swelling under her skin, especially around her belly and arms. These are caused by bleeding under the skin because of the force of the hit that caused her blood vessels to burst. Subdural hematoma. It's like when you get a really bad bump and it turns into a big bruise, only much more severe. Once we get her to the hospital, they'll be able to take x-rays and confirm the extent and severity of her injuries. The doctors at TC General are good. They'll take care of her. She's going to have a long road of recovery ahead of her. She's clearly a fighter. As they pull up to the emergency room's ambulance dock, Alex and Mike prepare to transfer Rosie. Their actions a well-rehearsed dance of urgency and care. Ashley stays close to her. Her presence a silent vow of unwavering support. Her fear now tempered with a glimmer of hope, buoyed by the expertise and dedication of the people fighting for her daughter's life. As the paramedics push the gurney with Rosie's broken body carefully secured through the doors to the hospital, we hear the sound of a bell ringing as we cut to Maniac's Pizza, where the rest of the gang is just walking in. Here at Maniac Pizza, I don't want to force anybody who wasn't planning on being here to be here. So I will, I guess, leave it up to the rest of you to determine who actually walks in.
Don't worry, fate did that for you, bud.
For this meeting. I will say that, well, for now we know somebody who's not there. We know two somebodies that aren't there. But so who would be the first one to show up at Maniacs eager for this meeting? Oop.
Over. Probably absolutely the first person there. His bike, he parked his bike along the side of the building. He goes in, scopes out. First of all, is it the same, Jake?
In a surprising twist, this iteration's Maniac Pizza is exactly the same as you remember it from the first iteration.
Oh.
So Coop's gonna scope out and try to grab our table, because it's our table.
The round booth in
right?
the corner.
And he's gonna grab himself a Coke and some breadsticks for the table, and he's gonna wait.
Who's the next person that would show up after school?
I think Laz was waiting for Rosie after school because he didn't see her during the day at all, and so he kind of wants to hang back and try to catch up with her. So I don't know what he would know of what's happened, but I think he would probably be one of the last ones to the pizza place.
So let's see. You had art last period. Let me ask you this: is Laz the kind of person that would you have lingered around in the school waiting for to run into Rosie? Would you have gone immediately outside?
Yeah, definitely outside. I don't know if, again, because this is really the first time that we've ever been at school, but I don't know if the other part of me remembers anything of like where she might typically go, how she typically gets home, or anything like that.
So I imagine that you know that Rosie has sports practice. We say sports practice because we don't know at any given time which sport Rosie's going to be participating in, but I imagine
just sport ball practice
all season long.
Some type.
All season
All the
long,
time.
Rosie's involved in some sport. And across the parking lot, there's the field house that is also the entrance to the track field, football field, etc. There's baseball diamonds back there. Actually, I don't know what sport you were practicing for, Rosie.
So this season would be basketball practice.
Okay, so
and she specifically said it was late practice.
So it makes no sense that you would go to the field house for this because the basketball court's in the gym. Except that you would have gone to
there was never
meet...
actually practice, FYI.
What's that?
There was never actually practice. It was established that it was a lie.
Oh, did I miss that? How did I miss that?
You made that happen. You said it as Jonesy. Whatever works.
I'm trying to remember what checks I wrote that I need to cash. Whoa.
No worries.
So regardless, it seems, Laz, that your best bet to run into Rosie would be to wait by the field house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he would situate himself somewhere between like the closest exit from the school and the field house.
It's not unusual that there's a lot of commotion in the parking lot after school. There's a lot of these a lot of people getting in their cars and driving away. Faculty, students, faculty are coming from the other side of the building. There's a couple of buses there. As such, the buses sort of block your view of part of the parking lot. So You don't pick up on the commotion right away. It's not until you hear the sound of an ambulance. You hear the sirens, and then you see the ambulance slow down and pull into the school parking lot. On the far side, between where you are, sort of in front of the buses. You can't really see from here what's going on, but the ambulance pulls up over there.
Now, I think Laz normally would not be the kind of person that would be drawn to something morbid like that. However, with everything that they've been through in the last several weeks, I think that there's a part of him that, like, just it nags at him that he needs to kind of know what's going on, because it could be more fuckery, you know. And I think he puts his cigarette out and kind of lazily skates that direction, you know, kind of go around the fringe of the crowd that's probably gathering.
Roll me a D100, please.
That is a 16.
Okay, I rolled a 77. So yeah, you skate around the fringe of the crowd, and as you're getting close, there's a gathering of people. Just onlookers, morbid curiosity. People definitely want, the people that were still around. Plus, a lot of the buses can't move right now, and all the people from this row, the parking area, can't get out. The Paradise Sheriff's vehicle has already, or is already pulling in the parking lot, and kind of pulls off to the side, not blocking the ambulance, but pulling up fairly close. And you can already see Deputy Sheriff Andy Harwell. Andy Harwell? Yeah,
Yes.
Andy Harwell. Getting out of his car. He's left his lights on, turned off his siren, and he's taking an assessment of the situation. Seeing the sheriff approaching, does that change your approach at all, or do you continue on?
Is he on the same side of the crowd as I am?
Which side of the crowd are you going around? Sidewalk. So if you go to the left, you'll go around the buses, up on the sidewalk. You go to the right, you go around the blue pickup truck and around the crowd, and that's the side that
Sidewalk probably has more things like handrails, benches, staircases, like curbs. So I imagine that's the path he's used to taking, so that's probably where he goes.
So almost as if by instinct, you go the completely opposite side of the crowd that Deputy Harwell is on.
Even better.
Even more so, you already see him as he is approaching the blue truck, the blue pickup truck that's strangely just parked in the middle of the road here. You see as he walks up to Dallas Rogers. Dallas is somebody you probably just know from seeing him around school for a few years. He's a year ahead of you. He's on the football team. Has a reputation as a greasehead and a bit of a knucklehead. But he, you can see even from this distance, he looks like he's about to burst into tears at any moment. There's a girl, his girlfriend, that's trying to console him, and you see that it's to him Deputy Harwell is going up to talk to. At this point, enough of the crowd moves away that you can see the partially crumpled front end of his truck. And you see a couple of paramedics leaning over somebody lying on the ground, administering CPR. One of them quickly stands up, rushes over and grabs the gurney, pulls it out, and lowers it down towards the ground. How much are you trying to get a look at who this is?
I don't think that there's any reason for him to get a lot closer. I don't. I think he might like kind of come to a stop near the fringe, and just somebody who's nearby, he just kind of like, does one of those, like, he jerks his chin kind of towards the incident. What's going on?
Rogers hit some kid.
They okay?
As hard as their head hit the pavement? I don't think so. Might have killed the kid.
On the first day of school, it's fucking sick. That's dark.
You see that
this place sucks.
The kid is being picked up, put on the stretcher by the two paramedics. They're standing in a way that's blocking you. One of them is doing chest compressions, and the other one is holding the whatever the thing's called, the bag, over their mouth and doing this thing. And they get you hear one of them say something about got a weak pulse, and they quickly start moving this stretcher up into the car or into the ambulance. And it's at that moment you hear, probably where you're standing, it's only like 40-50 feet from one of the front entrances of the school, you hear the sound of the doors crashing open, and you hear the sound of heels clicking rapidly on the sidewalk as Principal Ashley Gunnarsson comes charging out of the doors, running towards the scene, which in itself isn't out of the ordinary, that the principal wants to know what the heck is going on.
Right.
Until
Exactly.
You see her run forward, and you see a look you've never seen on any form of Ashley Gunnarsson / Raven, as you see pure terror and helplessness as she rushes to the gurney, and one of the paramedics moves, and you catch a glimpse of a bloody, bruised, and broken Rosie lying on the gurney just as it's shoved up into the back. And you just hear Principal Gunnarsson go, I'm going too, and doesn't even wait
Laz
for
is
permission.
already pushing his way through the crowd. Move.
Give me a brawn check, as you're trying to push through this crowd.
Okay. It's pretty decent. That's an 8.
So strong, yeah.
Strong claws.
You're pushing through a first couple kids, and you get through a couple rows here when suddenly a large senior puts his arm out and goes, hey, you don't want to get any closer, kid. And he kind of blocks you with an arm bar.
If you don't move your fucking arm, I'm gonna break it.
He puts his hand on your chest and says, let the professionals deal with it. And it's at that moment you see the back door of the ambulance shut, and one of the paramedics sort of bangs on the back, runs around to the side, jumps in, and you see the or rather hear the sirens kick up, and as the ambulance pulls out and cuts through downtown, you see it's heading towards Highway 22. You know that Paradise Health Clinic is not set up to deal with a car crash victim. It's a pretty good guess they're getting on 22 to head towards Traverse City to the nearest hospital. I need
I
you
think
to make.
There's a moment when.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a moment where he's just like he actually brings his skateboard up, where he's like about to clock this kid in the face with the trucks on the back of it, and he kind of like clutches the sides of his skateboard. Fuck you. You. And he turns around and storms off.
Roll a D100. Oops, that's not the right one. Just used it. Where did it go?
34.
34. Hold on. I just rolled a D100 and then I lost it. Okay. 34, you said? Ooh, I rolled a 39.
Correct.
Okay.
What the fuck? The sliding scale has been very like productive lately.
Yeah. So in this case, what this means is as you... Hold on. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I also
a
got
delay, I think.
a internet unstable warning and since the delay was in there.
Mhm.
Minor. Okay.
My
As-
curse passed to you.
as you turn away from this situation, you turn towards the school. You are on a level where you're standing, the lowest level, so the quote unquote basement level of the school is actually only halfway subterranean, if that makes sense. So like the upper half has windows and stuff. So you turn and you are looking right at the chemistry lab windows, and through the glass of the window you see a figure standing there. You see Dr. K standing at the window looking out with a look of intensity in his eyes, and you also see that blood is streaming down his nose and dripping onto the front of his white lab coat. With that, I want to actually cut to Oak. Oak, where are you immediately after school? Are you heading to the pizza place? Are you
So
going somewhere else?
my intention was to head to the pizza place. However, it is the first day, and I think he would linger around the school for a little bit longer than usual, only because he wants to kind of like peruse the AV club. He wants to like see the things that like potentially he's going to be a part of. He wants to like he wants to see the AV club, kind of see what things that they're doing. So I think he mills about there after the bell for a little while, but then he'll, especially when all the commotion starts and like there's a bunch of people outside there. And
Before we get to the commotion,
yeah,
because this might change your tact a little bit,
Yeah.
or your approach. When you get to where the AV club is,
Mhm.
the room is closed, locked, and there's a sign on the door saying that AV club is postponed for a week because they are
Okay.
trying to find a teacher, guardian or overseer or whatever
to host it.
for the
Okay.
class. So you're not
Staff
even-
advisor.
Staff advisor, thank you. Guardian.
They're trying to find a master to be in charge.
Yeah, I'm like overseer. That definitely doesn't sound right.
An overseer of AV.
They're trying
So-
to find a lord.
So yeah, your ability to linger much longer is
Yeah.
almost immediately waylaid by the fact that you can't get into the room.
Yep. Then I'll begin to head there, but as I'm leaving, I imagine that I would hear that. I don't think I would be able to exit the building without
Nope.
seeing.
You would have already, at that point, you probably would have left before this happened.
Before this happened. Okay, cool. Yeah. So then I would I would probably be the second person at the pizza parlor.
So, Coop, you are at your booth. You're sitting there for a little bit, and nobody's showing up. And then you hear the bells chime. Actually, where you're seated, you would see Oak approach. Oak, are you on foot? Did you ride your trike?
I would have rode my bike. Yes.
So you ride your bike and
the pizza parlor. Yep.
You see Coop's bike parked there. You park in beside it. As you walk in to Maniac's Pizza and see Coop, you get very lightheaded. And Coop, you see Oak walk in, sort of sees you, and suddenly wavers for a moment, and you watch as blood begins to spill from his nose.
Yep. Well,
He's grabbing napkins out of the dispenser on the table.
that ain't marinara. Okay.
Oh my gosh, what a gusher here!
I'm sorry. I just. Thanks. I don't know where that came from. I just. Are you? Hi.
Hi,
Um.
what happened to you?
Well, I rode my bike here, and I thought that we were gonna meet, and all of a sudden, I walked through the door. I haven't had one like that since spring. Oh God. Okay. Sorry. How was your After a moment, he'll wait for it to dry. Like he'll have it just plugged, a bunch of napkins just plugged up.
Yeah, you just do the.
So how was your how was your first day? I mean, it got to be better than I guess got to be better than mine.
Well, come on, sit down.
All right.
You gotta put your head down.
Okay.
And while you
I
pinch.
thought it was up, but okay. Okay. So, I mean, it's got to be better than mine, Koopy. I just I got. Let me see. Let me recount the ways. I got.
Let me count the ways.
I got shoved in a locker. Step one. I got beaten in the head multiple times during dodgeball. Step two. Yeah, I spontaneously cried in a class, and I don't know where that came from, but hey, it happened. All right.
That is a rough first day.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So I'm hoping. No, I'm not saying I hope you had a worse day, but I'm hoping you got at least a story that'll make me feel better.
So,
'Cause
is
it's
how
rough.
crowded is this place?
This is one of maybe 3 or 4 places in town different groups of people go to. Some people go to they can go over to I forget the name of it, but the tavern across the street, as long as it's before 6.
Yep.
They can go
Isn't
to
it
the
Is that
cafe.
the shipwreck the shipwreck cafe? Or
Yep.
something?
No,
Well,
it's the
no.
other
too.
place.
The other bar.
The
okay.
Shipwreck
The place
Cafe
with
is
the
more of a
burgers.
family dinner joint. This is Jean's Cafe, which is next door to the tavern. Wayne's Friendly Tavern, I believe it's called.
Well, in any case.
So I would say there's maybe
modulate.
a handful of other kids here.
Yeah, Coop will modulate his volume and say something really weird.
Okay. Define
this-
weird.
There was this guy. He's like one of the popular 8th graders, and he was first he was all chummy to me, and he took my hook and bands. I got really mad, and I shoved him down the stairs, and he cracked his skull, and I think he died.
Ugh.
but then went back and replayed like VCR. And it's like somebody hit rewind on the V.
So hold on. Time out, Coop. So you're telling me did you kill a guy on the first day? Then you rewound. You rewound a death?
I didn't rewind anything. It just.
Also, who is this guy? So I can give him a piece of my mind for cutting your little.
But it never happened. That's the thing. So when it rewound to him meeting me on this. I didn't talk to him that time. Work.
Okay. That's a lot, Coop.
Yeah, it was. Ooh, what a day. It was such a long day.
So, okay.
How's your nose? Brett's?
Yeah, I think we're good now. Okay,
I would like to.
Oh, God.
I would like to use
grab
that
a
to
breadstick.
cut to Billy. I want to know where Billy is after school. What his intentions are.
We don't need to get into anything because there's no direct topics that I wanted to talk about before I headed to, pizza joint maniacs. But Billy just kind of wanted to, if he could, touch base with the twins before they probably got in their own car. Because I imagine, like him, he's got some kind of chauffeur deal. Just wants to say hi and see how their day went, and then head on over to Maniacs.
I think that. Well, let's find out. Roll a d100. We'll let the dice decide the extent to what happens here.
Well, I have an 83.
Okay, I rolled a 19. So when you get outside and you're kind of looking around the parking lot, you see a red, like, it looks like it's a custom paint job. But you see it's almost a metallic cherry red with a white leather interior, which you can see because the top is down. As the two twins hop into a cabriolet, brand new cabriolet, and you see that Victoria is driving, and where you're standing, it looks like for a minute as they pull out that they might come driving right past you, and they back up and turn the wheel and go the opposite direction. So you don't actually get a chance to speak directly to them.
Yeah, no worries.
But as their car pulls away, I totally forgot your driver's name, but your personal valet's name, but the car is waiting for you.
I look around and see if any of my friends are here, and if they need a ride, I offer. I don't happen to see them, so I will get into the vehicle and head off. And it looks like everybody's saying the driver's name is Carson.
Carson, that's right. Billy's totally adapting to this lifestyle, by the way. Maniac Pizza is like 5 blocks away.
Yeah, right. He could throw a fucking baseball to Maniacs. He's like, driver.
It's less of a Billy you don't want to walk kind of situation than Carson won't let you walk.
If I were to do it, it is a headache now as the driver, insists that I get in the car. It's a headache later when, mom and grandma decide that they're going to bitch at me. It saves far more time than it is a convenience.
So yeah, you're able to, Carson takes you to the pizza place and drops you off right in front. He just stops the car right in the middle of the road and lets you out. And he points to the opposite side of the street, just like a quarter of a block away, where there's an empty parking space. I'll be there when you get done, when you're ready to return home. And
don't even give him, you know, the nod. It's just a hand wave up in the air, and I walk inside, you know. And I'm sorry, my friends, but he's certainly going to be disappointed when it's just the youngins, you know. No Laz, no Rosie, no Jess. It's like, but he'll head to the booth anyway.
so
Thanks.
I got to play the character. Come on.
as you walk in and start to sit down with Oak and Coop, I think it's about that point that you hear the sudden rising crescendo of sirens. And it is not every day. It is not even every month that you hear the sounds of an ambulance. The ambulance siren has a much different sound than the police sirens do. And you suddenly see, just as you walk in, as this ambulance goes flying by outside of Maniac's Pizza, rushing off towards just a couple blocks away where it'll access the highway. So for a moment you see this and you hear the sirens, and I would say, before we go back to your conversation, after seeing what you saw, Laz, are you sticking around the school to check on things, or are you heading to the pizza place?
No, I think that there's a moment where he's kind of staring at this image of Dr. K. What the fuck? And then there's like a dawning realization that like happens to his expression. And he throws his skateboard down and immediately starts going as fast as he can towards Maniac.
D'Amico, that's exactly what I had in my head too.
Dude.
D'Amico made a Goonies reference. 100% that scene was playing through my head from the beginning of Goonies. So we'll go back to Billy. For the moment,
so
Laz, you're on your way on skateboard, and you will. So here's what I want, Billy. I'm going to have you start going to the scene. Laz, burst in when you think you would have gotten there.
So when the ambulance goes by, I imagine Billy probably freezes in his tracks, and like probably everyone else in the restaurant that has a heart turns and looks in the direction. Humans are naturally drawn to, that sound. So we watch as the ambulance drives by, and there's just a look of, question and concern. But once it's like out of vision, the spell is broken, and he can turns back around and begins heading to the booth. En route, grabs a menu and sits down. Who all said they were coming? I mean, I didn't really get to talk much with Laz or Jess. Rosie had said she wasn't.
I talked to Laz coming, but he's not here yet.
Yeah, and I think Jessie said she was supposed to be showing too, but I haven't seen her yet.
The fact that two other friends might be joining us, Billy's heart picks up a little bit. All right, well, I don't know if we wanted to start the conversation having to repeat things once others get here, or if we wanted to just wait. But this is weird, right?
Today's been weird.
Yeah.
I mean, the school, he looks around kind of nervously and then whispers like, the iteration.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but like also I don't know, Okay, it's a lot of weird. I don't know how to take it yet.
I've got like two sets of memories in my head. Like
too.
I know that Billy's my friend, but he's also the douchebag who said I wasn't invited to his party last a couple 4th of Julys ago.
Wow. A steel
This is-
trap.
This is at least I'm not the only one. There's so much going on, and like I think there's a lot that's happened, and I haven't been able to really process. Like, nobody told me how I got from, and again, he looks around getting super nervous. How the, and he censors himself because he's talking to, a bunch of tweens. How did I get from the beach to the haunted house that's not haunted anymore?
You don't know?
No.
Billy, you turned into a wolf.
Yeah, do you
I mean,
remember?
Full American werewolf.
Yeah, you made for me my Teen Wolf 85, right?
No,
Close enough.
Close enough?
friendly.
Yeah.
You.
You yeah, you
American
made
Werewolf
Michael
in
J.
London
Fox.
was around that time too, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you made Michael J. Fox look kind of like, you made that whole movie look bad in comparison because, like, you were a full-blown werewolf, dude.
Did I run off? What happened?
Well,
Oh, how much did we see?
I know what we saw from from above. We would have seen.
Did we see the attack?
You guys
We
were
would've
up in
seen
the
him attack
lighthouse
Rosie.
looking down
Yeah.
on the beach. You saw the attack.
Okay, and that's what.
What?
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't want to misspeak.
That's why we ran back down.
Yeah.
Billy, you were on the beach, and Rosie and Jess and Anne, you were all on the beach, and then suddenly the moon came up, and poof, you turned into a. And then you started trying to chew on Rosie.
I think
Well,
that's
I mean,
actually when
when-
Laz busts through the door.
Oh, that's perfect. Fuck. That's awesome. That's
There's a sudden violent ringing of the
It's like threatens to come
of
off
the
the hook.
of the bells at the
Dingle,
top.
dingle, dingle, dingle.
Clang, clang, clang.
With everybody else, it's like ding 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 ding. This is like dong, 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 as Laz throws open the door, panting, skateboard in hand.
Holy fuck! Coop. Look, he kind of like slides into the booth, like whoever's just sitting there, just kind of like bodying them to the side.
Hey, Laz, are you okay? Have a breadstick.
No.
What's up?
You said something about
what's that?
the weird watch thing.
Yeah,
You said that it could rewind things, right?
I don't know if that's what it was, but yeah, it was like a VCR, like brrr, and everything went backwards.
I need you to use it.
Coop holds up his little thing, and he's like, I don't know how it works.
I want you to roll a
Look.
D100.
Who?
We will roll more than just D100s tonight, but
Who all did you want
So
one
he
from?
says.
This is
I
fun.
want Laz and I want Coop
Okay.
to roll D100s. And I'm going to tell you
Oh.
right now,
That's a 7.
I'm going to tell you right now, you have to hit this number dead on.
Oh,
I got
jeez.
a 20.
Coop holds the watch up so you can see it. And
Yeah.
nothing happens.
Yeah, Coop, what is it? Coop kind of slides it off of his wrist and holds it up.
Oh, that looks like a Fitbit. No, I mean, what's
A
Fitbit?
what now?
It's a flit bit.
The flip.
You flit back and forth through time.
That's funny. I like that.
It doesn't have any buttons or anything. Here, and I hand it to Laz.
No. Look, Coop, you figured it out already. You used it earlier. You
Well-
told me about it. I need you to remember what you did, and I need you to do it again.
Okay. Coop
Laz,
puts it.
what's going on?
I think Rosie might be dead.
What?
What do you mean
There was
she's
something that
dead?
happened. They loaded her into the back of an ambulance and they took off with the Zyren and the lights going. Her mom climbed into
You mean
the back of the fucking ambulance.
You mean the ambulance that
Ambulance?
just drove by a couple minutes ago?
Yeah. I was trying to follow it here. Just look, Coop. What did you do? How did it work?
I pushed the guy. He fell. His head cracked open. I ran over to help him because I felt super bad, and then I was gonna call for help, and then everything rewound.
So Billy is like standing in shock, like his jaw literally hanging open, looking back and forth between Laz
A
and
lot of
and
info
Coop.
has hit Billy.
In
the last
any given
20 seconds.
situation, only two people seem to have the whole story of that part, of that piece. Nobody has the whole thing.
Coop's saying he just killed somebody. Laz is saying that Rosie has just been dead, and he's just been told that he attacked his friend. That's like.
Okay,
Oak
everybody,
is
hold
the
on.
anchor.
Wait. Time out. Okay, just time out. Wait a
Are we
second.
sure you don't want breadsticks? 'Cause, like,
Oak
haven't-
is standing on the
Breadstick
seat of the boat
moment.
by now.
We haven't even ordered pizza yet. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Oak, are you fucking serious?
No, just listen. I'm just trying to not panic. Okay. I don't want to panic. Do you want to panic? Okay, listen. Coop. Let me see it. Let me see it.
okay,
Please.
okay. The last time it happened, though, it only went back like a few seconds,
I
maybe
know.
less than a minute.
Okay. Laz, I don't know how this works. I really don't. But I can try to figure it out. Okay?
I think you've got
Listen.
the best shot of figuring it out.
Oak,
Uh-huh.
you're the smartest fucking person I've ever met in my life.
I mean, Billy's got a good shot at being the smartest
No,
person
I
you've ever
mean
met.
You're brilliant. All right?
Thanks, man.
I really need you to fucking figure this out, okay? But you can do it,
Okay.
all right?
I want you to remember I'm 12.
Oak, as you say, I want you to remember I'm 12. You are holding this watch, yes?
Yes.
There is, as you say the words, I want you to remember I'm 12.
Yep.
You feel an immense, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a cluster headache, like a cluster migraine.
Ow.
Your
Ow.
forehead feels like, it literally feels like a hatchet has split your forehead into 3 pieces.
Hey,
And you see, in an instant, you see yourself sitting there looking at Laz and Coop and Billy and a handful of others in Maniac's Pizza. But sort of on your periphery and on the right-hand side here, you see some kind of computer controls. You see a window above the controls. You see an inky blackness dotted with 1,000,000 billion stars. And at the horizon, you just see what looks like the gray-white surface of the moon. On your left-hand side, in that periphery, you see it is 1955. And you are 12 years old.
Oh,
And you are in Paradise, Michigan at what is an empty lot where Maniac's Pizza would stand.
oh my god.
You are seeing all 3 of these viewpoints simultaneously.
So in one, so on the right-hand side, I'm in a spaceship.
A
Facing the
spaceship
moon.
or a space station or a something.
Something.
Looking
Okay.
out a
Got a
window
good view of the moon.
at the
Got a
surface of the moon.
good surface of the moon, okay? Or the other one, absolutely no Maniacs Pizza in 1955. Okay.
With the good view of them.
So I think what he does is he's gonna reach his hand out, blinded right now. Hey, anybody got any sunglasses? Are these? Ow, God.
I don't have real
Mhm.
sunglasses.
Migraine. I just need something to block the light out.
Cover your eyes with your hands.
On the left-hand
Okay.
side,
That's just as good.
on the left-hand side, and from your
Uh-huh.
left ear, Oak, you
Uh-huh.
hear a growling sound
From the
from
left-hand side?
behind you. It sounds like a rabid dog or
Oh,
something
dear.
like that as
Mhm.
a growling happens behind you. On the right-hand side, you hear what sounds like the deep thrum and powerful thrusters of a rocket engine firing as you see your view rising from the surface of the moon. In front of you, you can just make out your friends in Maniac's Pizza.
Okay. Lots going on now.
How's it going, Oak?
I need
Are
you
you
to roll.
figuring it out?
I need you to roll
We're
me
gonna-
a D100.
We're gonna figure it out one way or another. Woo! Yeah, D100? Absolutely. I
It's
am
like when you're in a
tripping.
super high stress situation and somebody's like, "How's it going?"
I am tripping right now. This 12-year-old is lost in the sauce right now. He's just like, oh my
Oak
god.
needs to
what
start
is-
doing. Needs to stop
Focus
doing
high,
eight
too.
balls.
Okay, so I
By the
rolled,
by, Oak's still covered in blood too.
Yeah, probably. 78. Yeah,
You
you see,
blink.
you see blood on my shirt. By the way, it's not. Yeah.
You blink,
hmm
and the view of 1955 Paradise, the growling dog, and Maniac's Pizza in the present day vanish.
Okay.
You are sitting inside some sort of spacecraft. You are sitting with controls in front of you. You are looking out the window at the view of the surface of the moon rising. Turning now to your left where you couldn't see before because of the fractured viewpoint. You see a man wearing a white suit, a red tie, and red glasses. Algernon in human form. All right, Dr. K, just sit back and relax. Our business here on the moon is done. We've got other places to be.
Okay. Don't panic. Don't panic. Okay. Yeah. Where would those other places that you have already probably told me be? Where would they be if
What
I
the
was
hell is wrong with you, man?
sorry? Sorry.
Wait a minute. Hold on. He pushes a couple buttons, and you see a light blink on as he takes his hands off the controls, and he grabs your face in both of his hands and is looking right into your eyes.
Oh,
You see him, he pulls his sunglasses off, and he's looking at your eyes. I thought this might happen. And he smacks you across the face.
God.
You all watch as Oak goes flying out of the booth. Well, actually, I'm going to say because of Billy coming in on one side and
Mm-hmm.
Laz coming on the other, Billy, Oak suddenly just forcefully goes to the side right into you, almost knocking you out of the booth.
Okay. Oh.
As you do
okay.
so, this watch device goes spinning across the table and sort of spins in the middle of the table. And in that moment, it's all gone. It's just you here in Maniac Pizza with your friends.
Okay.
Billy Oak is basically in your lap.
Okay.
What the hell happened?
Oh, lots of stuff happened, and I'm dumb. I am the dumbest kid you've ever met in my life. Okay? Weird thing. Touched the watch. It split me into two places. One was definitely before Maniac Pizza was even here. The other, I was in a spaceship with astronaut. So that was a fun little thing.
You mean like the ship that he and Dr. K flew away in?
Yep. That one. And they
So
were
you were
on.
like seeing through the older version of you's eyes?
Yeah, I guess, but like, I didn't know that. So then I started talking like 12-year-old me, and that rat bastard slapped me in the face.
The most literal rat bastard of them all.
Yeah. Choice
This
words.
is like an issue of Doctor Strange.
Okay, listen, let me hold the watch again. And I know this sounds so stupid. I know it sounds stupid, but just hear me out. I need one of you to slap me in the face again.
I think there's
Hear
a
me out.
moment where both Coop and Laz look at Billy.
It might be the blood loss.
Billy is eyeing you up like this is the stupidest thing he's ever heard you say.
Billy, it might be the blood loss, or it might be the fact that I just had that really surreal moment. But I'm just telling you, just trust me, please.
So you want me to slap you in the face?
In hopes that it'll send me back there, okay? I need
Do we
answers
like
on-
do this reverse? You were slapped on that side and went this way. Do we gotta slap
Yep,
the other side?
I don't know how this works, dude. I have no idea. Like I said, 12. All I know is he slapped me and I came back. So I figure
Well,
if
I'm
y'all slap
pretty
me,
sure slapping is only just gonna knock some stupid into you. But if you think this is gonna work, I'll give it a try.
okay, I gotta hold
Because
the watch.
after everything else that's just been told to me, why not?
I gotta hold the watch and just pray, okay? Gotta hold the watch and just pray. Ready?
So I kind of position myself on the other side of the bench, look around at, Coop and Laz, who I imagine are probably a little panicked at this point in time, especially Laz.
Yeah, he's freaking the fuck out. Like,
And
this
I
is a
look
huge waste of time.
And I look to you, Oak, and I'm like, are you sure? And when
I
you
need-
give me the nod,
No.
I go on and just give you a slap upside the
I
head.
want to figure out how to. I want to figure out how to use this thing to save Rosie. But I don't.
You don't
know
even
how
get
to
the
use
words
it.
out at that point. That's when Billy hauls off and slaps you. Now, the sequence of events here, I need you to first
Yep.
roll me a D100.
Yep. God, I feel so stupid for saying that. But you know what? I'm okay with it.
Well, you are playing your 12-year-old.
73.
Billy, I just wanna.
Okay?
73.
You grab the watch. And as soon as you grab the watch, you're back in the spaceship. You're hurtling
Oh
through
my god,
space.
it worked!
Okay.
You are hurtling through space. Now, hold on. You're hurtling
Mhm.
through space. And you sort of lurch in the seat. And next to you, Eldredon looks over and goes, "God damn it, you're back." And all of a sudden, Billy smacks you. And boom, you're sitting back at the booth in Maniacs. And the watch goes spinning
Yeah.
around on the surface of the table.
So okay. Okay, that's enough slapping. We can
That's
try it
gonna
again
leave
later.
a mark.
Oh God, Billy, do you know that because you got a really good right hook, man. Oh man.
That was my
Ah,
left.
Oh,
I know something you do not know. I am not even left-handed.
Oh,
So I imagine there,
Oh,
you know,
God.
both of Oak's, cheeks
both
are
of
like
both my
bright red
cheeks are
now.
bright red. My nose is freaking bloody. I look like I've been in an MMA fight. At
Been a
this
hell
point.
of a day.
In fact, at that point, Luigi comes up. Look, kids, I don't mind you guys hanging out here after school, but if you're going to be doing all this grab ass, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Sorry, sir. I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
And you,
Okay.
go to the
Yeah.
bathroom and clean yourself up. You can't. This is a restaurant.
Yes, sir.
I'm
yes,
gonna-
sir.
The health inspector come through now? I mean,
No, I get it.
we might actually get knocked down to a D from a C.
Let me take the watch, see if I can figure it out, okay? I'll be right back. And he'll go take the watch, but he'll take it
As
to the
soon as you
bathroom.
touch the watch, I need you to roll a D100.
Oh God, okay. 44.
While he's rolling, and we don't need to actually describe it, but Billy will turn to Laz and try to get more information as to what the flip happened to Rosie and why he thinks she's dead.
Yeah, and he'll fill him in.
Okay. Oak, you grab the watch and nothing happens. And you head off to the bathroom. Laz is filling in Billy and Coop on what happened with Rosie. And as you're doing this, we sort of hear the voices kind of trail off as Oak, you walk down the back hall, narrow hallway to the bathroom, and it's at the end of this hallway. There's one of those fluorescent lights that's like ping, 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 and you see the door to the men's room, and you push through it. And as you push through, picture the camera sort of moving through the wall, and we see on the other side a green door with a brass handle, and walking through the door is Rosie. As you pass through this door, Rosie, you're passing into a liminal space. Describe this liminal space for us.
Okay. I need to back up real quick. I am coming into the okay.
You are
so
not
I'm
in the
just
pizza
a liminal
place.
space.
You are not in the
I'm not
pizza
in the
place.
pizza place.
You are
Okay,
in
okay,
a
that's what I was
liminal
curious.
place. You are.
Yeah.
This is Rosie, dead or near dead, on a gurney or in a hospital bed.
Okay.
We're going
I got it.
inside Rosie's head. This was just
Okay.
a scene transition.
Sure.
So
Gotcha.
I want to know, what is this wide, empty, whatever space? I want you to tell us where you are.
Okay. So where Rosie is, there is that kind of brown tile like you used to see in like an old Pizza Hut, like in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's like that brown tile, and there are around this place, very, very far from each other, there's little tables, like 2-seater tables, and there are chairs at them, but they are very far away from each other, and this space just kind of stretches on forever, like into the darkness. There are red lamps hanging over these tables, like red glass, you know what I'm talking about, like at a Pizza Hut, and but that's it. And it's just like infinite tables and infinite floor, and it just stretches farther than you can see.
As you walk into
Feels
this,
familiar and unfamiliar at the same time.
and as you walk into this
There's
space,
gotta be a jukebox going somewhere.
There is a jukebox real quick, and it's playing Flock of Seagulls, I Ran So Far Away.
but it's playing it in a very echoey, distant. If you've ever played Grand Theft Auto Vice City, there was a stadium you could go to, Hyman Arena, what it was called, and there were various like races and stuff you could do, and that song would play, but it had that sort of distant, echoey sound because you were in this arena doing stuff. That's what this song sounds like right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As you are walking through this place, every step you make sort of echoes. Where do you go? Do you go towards the distance? Do you go towards a table? Do you go towards the jukebox?
I think for a minute,
Or somewhere
Rosie. Yeah, I think for a minute, Rosie does just kind of walk forward. And she's kind of realizing that there is like an infinite loop of tables. And then she kind of like looks around one more time and she does see this jukebox.
With
and that's
each
the
step,
only. Yeah.
you take a step forward. It's as if you stepped through or stepped towards like a dozen of these lamps that are spaced almost to the edge of visibility. You take another step. Each step is as if you're walking miles. But the scene never changes.
Right.
You hear the song, you turn, and you see the jukebox.
So I see the jukebox. It's kind of a good distance away, but it is the only non-table, non-lamp thing in this place. And so she kind of starts to go towards
Just
it.
thinking of the jukebox, you look down and you're standing at the jukebox.
Huh.
You still hear the song in the distance. You see inside the jukebox is a 45 spinning, and you see where all the other 45s are in this disc, and the mechanical arm would bring them out and set them down. And you see on the face of the jukebox are all of these different songs and the buttons you press. And as you look at them, all of the songs say, "Wake up, Rosie. Wake up."
Oh.
Every single one, it's the words, "Wake up, Rosie. Wake up, Rosie." It's just repeated on every button.
I push one.
Which one?
One that says Rosie.
You press the button, and let's have you roll a D100. I'm rolling a lot of double digits. Or like the same digit. You know, like 22, 33, 44, 55. Okay, I rolled a 44. So that's 40 away. You press the button. And as you press the button, I can't think of a song that would be appropriate for this moment. But
Hold on. I see typing. While they're typing, check us out on teespring.com. At
Who's
teespring.com, we have t-shirts. It looks like Tamiko and Ted are both
Oh.
having ideas. Oh, wake me up before you go.
well, I was gonna say appropriate to what I'm about to say. Because you
Oh,
press
sorry.
the Rosie button.
Okay.
As you press the Rosie button, the jukebox immediately transforms into the grill of a 1984 Chevy Silverado 1500 and hits you in the chest, and you feel the pain all over again. You feel your ribs break, you feel your leg break, your arm, your head smacks into the tile as you slide backwards. You're struggling to breathe. What do you do?
Wow. I think for a second Rosie would just like lay there and cry. Like it just like not like just like lays there for a second, kind of like when you get your wind knocked out and you just can't function for a second. And like there's tears like going like cuz she's laying on her back, they're like going back towards her ears, and then eventually she kind of like rolls to her stomach and then very slowly makes her way back to her feet. And then she kind of like looks back over again at this jukebox, and
The jukebox is there, but now
is it
parked next to the jukebox in the glow of one of these red lamps is the gleaming metallic blue Chevy Silverado.
I think Rosie's like first instinct, something that she would grab for comfort, in any situation kind of is her bat. She looks around, she feels like her bat should be here. Is her bat here perchance?
You know what I'm going to tell you to do.
It's never far from her in times of trauma.
You know what I'm about to tell you.
D100.
I want a D100.
Okay. Got a 40. 40.
I got a 2.
Well, fuck. Rosie goes over to the jukebox. Can she make her way over there still?
Every step is excruciating. You're struggling to take in breath. Yet somehow you are moving. And you don't take more than a step or two, and suddenly you're in front of the jukebox.
Okay. So this time, Rosie kind of like very cautiously, for instance, just puts her hands on this jukebox, and she wants to move her hands in such a way where she goes and pushes all the buttons at once.
As you do so, you hear, "Wake up!" Coop, back at Maniac's Pizza, in the back of your mind, you hear, "Wake up!" For those of us in the audience, it's the same exact voice at the same time that Coop hears and that Rosie hears. As this voice says this, Rosie, your eyes open. Glancing around, you have that complete, total disorientation. If you've ever stayed at somebody's house that you never really stay at before, and you wake up in the middle of the night or the morning and you forget that you were there, you're completely disoriented. You're trying to get your bearings. And looking around, you can see that you are lying in a hospital bed. You see an IV strapped to your arm. You can hear the beeping of machines to either side of you. As you turn your head to the right, you see, sitting in a chair pulled right up next to the bed, holding one of your hands, her head with her chin on her chest, is Ashley. And as you open your eyes and look over at her, she stirs. "You're awake!" And that's where we're going to take a break.
Ooh. Shit.
All right.
Oh, shit.
Amazing.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead
Damn.
and take a quick break. I'll probably say this at the end, but I do want to say once again, this is one of my favorite things about playing with all of you people, is you all are so good at knowing when the spotlight's going to be on a certain character or two, and just kind of rolling with the punches and rolling through the scenes. Though it's not explicitly on Rosie, it's obviously a little bit of a heavy Rosie session, but I just appreciate that everybody's just rolls with where the scene switches. We never, it's always been that way, and I appreciate that. So to you, the audience, get yourself some players like these. We'll see you in about 10 minutes. Rosie, we're going to go right back to you.
Okay.
As you are coming to terms with the fact that you are lying in a hospital bed. Your left arm, the hand of which your mother is lightly holding on to, has been heavily wrapped in gauze and ace bandage. There's no plaster cast or anything on it yet. Your leg, which is your left leg, is outside of the sorry, that was your right arm that's bandaged. Your left leg is it was your right arm that got shattered. Your left leg is has a like cloth and Velcro immobilizer on top of gauze and ace bandage. It has these metal rods through it. It's sort of telling you they haven't taken the steps yet to put any kind of casts on. You have that little bit of familiarity. You've broken your arm before. And your chest feels tight because you can see that there are bandages wrapped around your chest very tightly. And yeah, you've got the IV in your left arm, and you're just sort of laying there in this bed, the machines whirring and beeping around you as your mom sort of grips your hand and looks at you. You're awake.
And Rosie is just still kind of like glancing around, taking inventory, and is just very confused and doesn't say anything, but just kind of like looks over at her mom, confused, like kind of pleadingly, like
She
wondering what happened.
reaches up and she just kind of pushes a lock of your hair off to the side and tucks it behind your ear. And her hand kind of lingers there a moment as she kind of traces your jawline and looks at you and says, "Honey, there was an accident at school. You got hit by a car in the parking lot."
Fuck.
And she kind of glances down at your arm and your leg. "I'm sorry. The paramedic said that your arm and your leg are, well, there's multiple breaks. And your ribs were broken as well. You got some internal bleeding. Don't move. Move any more than you have to. While you were unconscious, they took you in and they basically x-rayed you from head to toe. They did MRIs. Just waiting for them to come back and tell us what they found. But I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to be in recovery for most of the school year. There's not going to be any sports, Rosie."
And Rosie kind of like looks out the window, and she's kind of like, before, as she was waking up, she was kind of like looking like to her leg, to her arm, to her chest, to her leg, to her arm, to her chest, kind of slowly. And now all of a sudden she's looking again, kind of in that same order, but quickly, and her brow furrows, and I imagine the little heart rate monitor starts to speed up, and she's like breathing heavily and like looking out the window and just kind of like knows she can't move, but wants to move, wants to get up, and in her head she can still almost hear, "I ran so far away."
As you look,
and she wants to get up out of the bed.
as you look over at the window, you see, just looking off to your left is where the window's just a few feet away, maybe 4 or 5 feet. There's a chair on the other side, and in that chair is your backpack. And sticking out of your backpack, you can see the handle of your Louisville Slugger. Your eyes just sort of rest on that.
And Rosie, is her leg like elevated? Is it in like a stir?
Yeah,
like...
it's they've got it in this immobilizer, but yes, they also have it. They've got it's like a canvas harness, and they've got the cable hooked to it. You're in traction basically, just not full traction.
Irrationally, Rosie tries to like sit up and starts to try to take stuff off of her, and she wants to go get that fucking bat.
Ashley leans over you. No, don't move.
Get off me.
Nope.
Get off me.
She sees where you're looking. I'll get it. Just don't move.
And Rosie like kind of like leans back and is still kind of like very like frantically looking around and wants to get anywhere but here, and just it's hard.
She stands up and she kind of, her hand lingers for a moment as she's just, hold on, I'm gonna go over and get it. She walks over and she takes the bat out of the backpack. She brings it over to your left side with your unbroken arm. she kind of looks at you with this look of parental sadness, just this despair that, you know, it's her kid's hurting and there's nothing she can do, but also just with this sadness of, as she looks at the bat and realizing what this accident means, as she lays the bat down alongside your body, and she sort of places the handle of the bat into your left hand and kind of curls your fingers around it. Just let it lie there. Hold on to it.
And again, you kind of hear that tape on the handle like creak as Rosie like grips it hard and then releases her grip and then grips it hard again, and then all you can hear is just Rosie crying. Like she kind of like turns her face away from her mother, and she just you can see her chest kind of heaving. And
there's a knock on the door, just a light knock, and then the door opens as a man sort of pokes his head in and says, "Hi, it's Dr. Simons." "Oh, good, you're awake." And he comes walking in and he says, "All right." And he kind of looks over his shoulder. He says, "She's awake." And about a half a dozen doctors and nurses come walking in behind him. As he walks up, and where Ashley's now standing on the opposite side of the bed, on your left side, the door was on your right side, and that's where he comes in from with these others. They sort of kind of gather around, and he's holding the chart in his hand, and he's looking at you. "I can understand this is very traumatic for you." And he glances down. "Rosie, it's on the first day of school too." And he looks at Ashley and he says, "So it was a paramedic said she was hit by a pickup truck in the parking lot." And with that knowledge, and with the information that the paramedics gave us about the subdural hematomas, the multiple fractures in the left ulna and the right femur, right ulna, left femur, the multiple fractured ribs, bruising, lacerations, we x-rayed everything. We did full MRIs. You said you were hit by a pickup. She was hit by a pickup truck.
Fucking hit by a pickup truck.
Do you remember
Sorry.
being hit by the truck?
Does she?
I don't know, do you?
I mean, I would think, yeah. Like she remembers being hit by the truck.
In that
She
case,
also remembers who did it, but she doesn't say.
you remember everything up until the moment your head hit the pavement. And in that moment, the accident sort of replays in your head. You see almost in slow motion as the truck hits you. And that first impact, you feel your left hip and femur shattering. You feel your chest caving in as the ribs are cracking. You're thrown backwards as you instinctively try to break your fall and break your arm instead as it crumples under you. And then your head smacks into the pavement and everything goes black. This plays out in an instant as he says this. And
I would imagine real quick Rosie would at that time say, "Yes, I got hit by a truck." Do you want to know what it felt like? What else do you want to know?
I don't know if it's because you play sports and you're in excellent shape, or you are just one hell of a lucky girl. The paramedics may have, in the moment, misdiagnosed. And at that point, Ashley looks up at him and says, What the hell are you talking about, Doctor? Just tell me straight. Rosie, you don't have a single broken bone in your body, according to the x-rays. The MRIs show no internal bleeding. And I feel pretty certain that when we pull these bandages off of you, there will be no bruising either.
Does it still hurt? Like, this is a question for the DM. Does it, like, am I in pain or not?
I never said you were in pain. I said you feel the pressure of the bandages that are tightly wrapped around your chest. I never once described you being in pain.
No, you didn't.
I just described the
Wow.
way everything is wrapped up.
Wow. Rosie kind of like looks around and is almost like not allowing herself to believe that this is true, because this is she remembers being hit by a goddamn truck, and this
You
should
heard your
not-
bones break. You felt
Yeah.
your bones break.
And she looks down at her bat, and she looks up at her mom, and she looks up at the doctor, and be like, "So when do I get out of here?"
Let me take these bandages off. We're just going to confirm. And then if everything's the way it's showing, I see no reason to keep you here. And he kind of motions, and couple of the nurses and doctors, they move around, they unhook your leg from traction and start undoing the immobilizer. Another one comes over and starts carefully cutting at the bandages that are wrapped around your chest. One of the nurses, she's also standing there. She's got another blanket, and she just kind of gives you a little smile and says, "Your privacy," when they pull the bandages off. And Dr. Simons is cutting away and unwrapping the bandages around your arm. And as each limb is unwrapped, the medical staff give an audible gasp. Your arm, as it's freed, feels perfectly fine. Which arm did you break in the incident with Lenny?
My right arm.
And that was a pretty bad break.
Yeah.
They had to they actually had to do surgery on your arm back
Yeah.
then. As you're flexing it, the surgical scars are gone from the first surgery.
Shit.
Your leg is unwrapped. Same thing. Feels perfectly fine. As the bandages on your chest are removed, the doctor takes a moment just to, as the nurse sort of covers your chest as much as she can for privacy, he just starts pressing in on your abdomen. Does this hurt? Here?
Rosie kind of sucks in like she's expecting it to, but then it doesn't.
And he continues this for a little bit. And you can see that Ashley is just sort of standing there. She's got her arm crossed and her hand up like this. And she's just, eyes looking wildly like she doesn't know how to process this. And
Rosie in the back is still just answering questions. Does this hurt? No. Does this hurt? No. Does this hurt? No. So on and so on.
And as this is happening, we sort of pan away from the scene of all these doctors sort of attending and basically showing the lack of injuries. One of the doctors, as the camera sort of passes by, there's a doctor furtively writing in some notes, and we can see where the paramedics had marked off like injuries on one of those diagrams of a person, and there's the medical jargon and things pointing here and there, and this person is writing notes next to each of those, and then near the bottom we just see them writing paramedics misdiagnosed, and then a question mark. And then we pull back to Maniac's Pizza as the rest of you are sitting around the table. Oak, you would have, unless you were going to do anything, careful how I say this, unless you were going to do anything specific while you were in the bathroom.
Yeah. No, I think there is a moment where he's like cleaning himself off, and then he looks at the watch, the band. I should say band because it's not a watch really, but he looks at the band, and just frustratingly, I don't know why Hoop can get you to work and I can't get you to work. What is happening? Why? I want to say Rosie too. Like, I don't understand it. And then he'll just sit staring at the mirror that's in the bathroom, having washed his face, washed his hands, and he just closes his eyes for a second, and he'll. I just want Rosie to be safe. That's all I care about. That's all I want. I just want her to be okay. And he just tries to think of what he could do to fix this.
As you're in this like moment of just being distraught, going through what you just went through with the weird visions and the headache and everything, and you're standing in front of this mirror, I imagine the water is still running for a moment.
Yep. He wouldn't have turned it, like, as much as he's a good boy, he would have kept that water running. It's not his house.
You look up into the mirror.
Yep.
And just over your shoulder, you see Jessica's reflection. And you see a pleading look as she mouths the words, "Help me."
Jesse? Oh, okay. First off, how? Why? And how am I gonna explain this to the rest of the guys? Oh my god.
You blink and she's gone.
Oh no. Oh god.
Oh fuck. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Compose yourself, Oak. Compose yourself. You're fine. You're okay. We're gonna get through this. It's gonna be all right. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna solve this together. He takes the little band and he walks back to the to the group. And he sits down. Okay. He takes the band and he slides it to Laz. I'm sorry. I couldn't get it to work. At least not today.
Fuck. He like slams his fists down on the table, like hard enough to make like the plates and silverware or whatever kind of rattle. He grabs his skateboard and he heads for the door. I know as much of a dick move as it is to completely just not let Oak even explain or finish. Laz is already miles away.
Buddy, I'm trying. Man.
Laz heads out the door.
Oh wow.
Where are you headed, Laz?
back to the school. I want to know if Officer Harwell's patrol car is still there.
Oh no, don't. This is stupid.
Given the amount of time you've been here, I think as you skate back towards the school a few blocks away, you would see that the buses are gone. The Deputy Harwell's car is gone, and you would see as a tow truck is just pulling out of the drive, pulling Dallas Rogers' truck. And actually,
Is the truck pretty fucked up? Just because I want to know now.
I mean, like, the grill looks like it was probably plastic, is all broken up, and it's not like crumpled in like the truck just ran into Superman or anything like that.
That's what I wanted to know.
No, it's
Say
not
no
like
more.
that. It's just the front end is you got hit hard enough to break the plastic grill, probably knock the Chevy logo on the ground. I gotta look something up real quick because a piece of information for
Well,
you.
take your time, because I have not yet finished my merchandise plug. Check us out at teespring.com. At teespring.com, we have all kinds of great t-shirts with cool logos like the one I'm wearing, the one Jeremy is wearing, which is almost the same but slightly different, and so many more. We have it on mugs, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, and all kinds of other stuff. Teespring.com. Just search Mini Terrain Domain.
Okay, thank you. I just looked
You're
up
welcome.
and it was not written down, so Jeremy, you get to do a piece of world building. The tow truck that is pulling Dallas's truck has the name of a junkyard. It has a person's name and junkyard written on it. What's the name of this junkyard or this person?
It's Chopper's Wrecking. And as the tow truck pulls by, we see that somebody has spray painted on the door. It says balls underneath wrecking. So it says Chopper's Wrecking Balls.
That's amazing. Well done.
Excellent.
The
Yeah,
spray paint may or may not have been less.
Exactly.
It says underneath it in black letters, Paradise, Michigan, and it has a phone number, 616 blah 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 555 1212. And you see it as it pulls away and heads out towards that direction of the junkyard, which also has the junkyard also has a does mechanical stuff as well, like towing, junkyard, body shop, all that stuff all rolled into one. But yeah, there's no sign of Deputy Harwell.
He says again, and he kind of turns and looks back in the direction where the ambulance left in. And he's gonna hit the pavement.
The hospital's 25 miles away, just so you know. It's in a whole other city.
I got this.
Back at the Maniacs, Coop, Oak, and Billy, you're left in the wake as Laz takes off on a skateboard.
Billy, I'm sorry, man. I know this is not how you wanted this to go. How you wanted us to
I don't
go.
really know what to do here. I mean, should we all head down to the hospital and go see what's going on? I mean, Carson's
I
right
don't
out
know
there.
what. I don't
It's
know.
25 miles away in another town.
But-
Sorry.
Carson's right out there, and he'll take us anywhere we want to go.
Oh,
Oh my god!
See,
got all
finally
about
somebody
You're
in the group having a car
genius.
pays off.
I mean, that's like,
You see that
Huh.
like
Yeah, I
Oak
want to go
is-
see Rosie.
Oak is like super distracted though.
Hey, remember how we said that like it was weird that Jesse didn't show up?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, what if I said like just hypothetical, maybe it's all the blood loss, maybe it's the crying, I don't know what it is, but I was staring at the mirror in there, and then she was staring back at me in the mirror, and I was looking at her. I don't know what happened, dude. All I know is I saw her in the boys' bathroom.
Are you sure it was Jessie and not Anne? I mean, Anne's
That's
the
what I
one
was-
who lives in mirrors.
That's what I was gonna say.
Dude, I don't know anymore.
Was she still there when you left?
I washed my face. I blinked a couple times and then gone.
Well, maybe it's like
Billy-
Bloody Mary. You have to say
Billy
her
get-
name.
Billy just gets up and walks into the boys'
Billy.
restroom.
Before you even do that, as you're kind of scooting out of the booth, your feet kick something just under the edge of the booth seat.
I look and see what's down there.
This is the same seat you were sitting in the first iteration, where you
Oh.
found the box,
Baseball cards.
the shoebox that said Billy Stapler and had the address of the Stapler house on it. You look down and you see where the board under the seat is missing, and you've just kicked a shoebox, dusty, with Billy Stapler written on it and your address written on it.
Oh.
I reach down and pick it up.
It feels different. Something rattles inside.
I look in.
You open up the cardboard box, and inside, as long as the shoebox is, sitting side by side, are two carved wooden stakes.
Oh no.
I turn the box like to the kids and just open it up, close it, and show that my name is on it.
No, there's
freaking
vampires.
At the show of the stakes, if there has been a pizza ordered in this entirety of time, Oak just takes like what would be the equivalent of garlic sauce and just douses a piece of pizza and just immediately eats it just for security. Like
We never ordered a pizza, but you can still do that with a breadstick.
Yep, breadstick dipped in garlic sauce.
Oh
Call
my
it a day.
God. I imagine he eats the breadstick and just does the garlic sauce like a shot behind it, like a chaser.
Put a little bit on the pulse spots on the neck. Especially
Hey,
on the neck.
Be too cautious.
So sorry to interrupt. You were gonna head to the boys' bathroom, Billy, but I wanted to. As you stood up, you kicked this box. So
Yeah, so he'll like just kind of like shove that in his bag, and but he'll head to the restroom, and he's gonna look at every single mirror. There's nobody else in there. Then he'll, Anne, are you here?
roll the D100. That's the name of this game.
$16.
I rolled a 3.
It's 13 away.
Mm-hmm. Because you can't roll 12 and a half when there's 25%, I always round it up to 26, which means you're exactly on the threshold of what would have happened. As you walk in there, you just see the one mirror above the sink. This is a smallish bathroom. It's got like 2 urinals and 1 stall, This is the 80s, so it's got one of those metal things with the blue towel that you just go vroom, vroom, vroom.
Oh God, it like rotates.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, it doesn't rotate. It actually does get spooled up inside. It's not like on an infinite loop. That's gross. But yeah, it's one of those, and you're kind of looking around and looking in the mirror, and as you look in the mirror, and then you kind of look this way, and then you look this way, and you look up, and you see standing over by the stall door in the reflection is Jessica or Anne. It's one of them.
So I'll say both names, but speculating that it's Anne, I would say her name first.
And seeing you sort of through the reflection lock eyes, and you blink, but she doesn't go away. In that moment of blink, she's suddenly right next to you over your shoulder, and you hear in your ear, "Help me."
How? Tell me how.
Help me. She's trying to form other words, and it seems that that's all she can say.
Oh my God.
Help
Now,
me.
am I seeing her only in the mirror,
Yes.
or am I?
You're
I'm gonna go
only seeing her
to
in
the mirror.
You're gonna what?
I'm gonna go to the mirror, and I'm gonna put my hand up against it, and I'm just gonna try and see if I can push my hand through.
Ooh.
I want you. We're gonna do another D100. I don't know a stat that can be applied for this.
$71.
You place your hand against the glass, and you see the Jessica Ann reflection follow suit and places the same hand so that they would match up. But you see that gap. If you've ever, when you place your own hand on a mirror, you see that there's the gap of the glass. You can't actually touch your reflection. All you can feel is the glass. But your hands are lined up, and you just see this pleading look in her eyes. And the next time you blink, she's gone.
All right. Well, the fact that she's gone, I punch the mirror and break it.
Oh,
Ooh.
so you punch the mirror and you break it.
Yay! Congratulations! Mission accomplished.
I imagine that there is, a scream of utter frustration, and then the sound of breaking glass, and probably the sound of Billy yelling in pain.
Narrator are allowed back in Maniac's Pizza again.
Whenever you do leave the bathroom, there's just some random kid from the school that was there. Just kind of gives you this look. What did you eat, man?
Bad day. The two words and a glare is all he gets out of me. So I head back to the booth, and if I can edit the scene to say that with everything that's happened, at some point in time we would have ordered a pizza. So I take it to go, and see if the kids want to hop in the car and go to the hospital.
So you get your pizza, and you all head in to the car. Carson gives you a very disapproving look at the sight of the pizza in the car, but does not say anything. And You tell him where to go. He pulls the car out onto the road, does a U-E at the intersection, and pulls out onto M22. And in about 10 minutes, you see on the dirt shoulder up ahead of the road, you see Laz holding a skateboard with his thumb out.
So I'll tell Carson to pick this guy up. He's my friend. He's going to the same place we are.
I would like you to not make it a habit of picking up hitchhikers.
It's not. It is my friend. He's going to the same place we are. It's not a big deal.
You're not my real dad.
Your grandmother would have something to say about those you choose as your friends. And you see his eyes in the rearview mirror flicker to Coop and Oak. And then as he looks out...
Then let her bring that up, not you.
Very well. And the car pulls off to the side, and you see a fancy town car pulling up alongside you as the window rolls down, and you see Billy and Coop and Oak.
Hey, want a lift? Imagine you're going to the same place we are.
Is this your car?
Families.
Billy, stay. Get in the car. We've got pizza.
You kind
All
of
right.
fled before I could say anything.
I didn't fucking know. All right, I'm sorry.
You're
I'm
upset.
just real worked up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it, man.
All right.
This will get you there faster.
Come on, let's go
Okay.
see her.
He flicks out like the butt of his cigarette, and he'll climb in the car. "Sup, Jeeves?"
Oh.
He says to the driver.
I like to imagine, as Coop said, we have pizza. He holds up a piece of pizza, and the cheese goes whap onto the carpet of the limo.
Yeah.
Sauce side down.
Yes, of course, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to quickly cut, or rather move forward in time a little bit, as the town car is pulling into Traverse City General. It's probably at this point probably about 6:30, given just everything that's happened. It's probably about 6:30 in the evening. As this town car pulls up, just as Rosie, you and Ashley are just coming out the front door. Despite your protestations, the hospital insisted that you must be wheeled in a wheelchair to the exit. So, as this town car pulls up, the rest of you would see Rosie being pushed in a wheelchair with her Louisville Slugger across her lap, with Ashley right alongside her. I will turn the scene over to all of you.
Rosie looks disgruntled. That's it.
For me, just thematically, I picture like, you know, when in like the 80s films, like when one of the members of the team get hurt, but then like the whole team gets to rejoice when they finally get out of the hospital or whatever. It's that pile out of the car, like, oh my god, you exist. For me, for my money, that's what I think Oak would be so excited that you're okay and that you're not like on a gurney.
Dead?
Yeah, dead. Yeah.
The
Last
fact that... Oh, go ahead.
It's just good. Last said you got hit by a car, but you look okay.
Are we
seeing-
outside the hospital yet?
Yeah,
Okay.
the nurse sort of helps you to your feet, much to probably the surprise of the others. Most surprising probably for Lass, who last saw you being hauled away on a gurney. And then she takes the wheelchair, and Ashley just sort of is standing there as you're talking to your friends.
So
What were you gonna
seeing that Rosie is not only not on death's door, but is conscious, awake, moving, and before you even get to your feet or any of that kind of stuff, like those around him see that, like, he gets very relieved and then is not even looking in your direction, has got this like look on his face, like that he is, I don't even know how to properly describe, because he is just he's still coming to terms with the fact that he attacked Rosie, and has to somehow apologize and make amends, and has no idea how to properly do that. So Rosie can read that situation however she wants, but
Yeah,
Got
well,
the tried to eat your friend guilt, man.
I'll tell you exactly how. So when Coop says it looks like you're okay, Rosie stands up and she kind of like looks and like kind of displays herself, and it's just like, I am.
I think Laz closes the distance between them and hugs her, and without even thinking about it, he kisses her.
yeah.
Rosie, oh my god. Rosie, wow. Okay. Rosie, like, her eyes like shoot wide for a second, and then they kind of like gently close, and she would like reach up and put her hand on the side of Laz's face as she just kind of like melts. And I imagine her hat like falls off, like gets kind of bumped off as she like moves her head, and she like behind her back catches it before it hits the ground.
As the camera's doing one of those moving around slowly,
Yep.
and everybody's just sort of watching. And you know what? I can't think of a better place to end this session.
I'll tell you, just like Tamiko mentioned, her mom's reaction.
Oh god,
Your mom's
she
gonna
is
be so proud.
She's gonna disapprove so hard. Wow.
Wow.
That's that is adorable. I love it. I love it.
I
What a fantastic
was
session.
glancing at our side chat, and I loved seeing, as I love always just seeing you guys theorize and stuff, but never so closely right before the reveal did I think Jeremy or Tamiko said it. One of the two of you said something about heroes, and then somebody said save the jocks, save the world.
Who said that? That's funny. There you go. Oh my god, that is precious.
So
I love it.
as of right
Is
now,
Rosie all of Twitter?
Yeah, Rosie doesn't even see. I guess maybe like she had noticed Billy being Billy, but just kind of assumed it was Billy being Billy. Just kind of standoffish and rich. She would probably take it negatively that you weren't like rushing. And then all of a sudden, as though in such stark contrast, bam! Wow, Billy's being a little cold right now.
I love the sudden the wide eyes, and then just the relaxing into it, and
It's
but
very 80s.
with the hat falling off, Rosie's still got one part of her mind thinking on reflexes, and I got to think that
It's natural.
as you reach back and grab it, it was that previously shattered right arm.
The
that you
same
grabbed it
hand,
with,
yes,
yeah.
of course it was.
Um,
Aw,
yeah, there was a lot
perfect.
going on in this
That was perfect,
episode.
brother. And Chad was even here, and we
yeah.
still went off the rails. I think that bodes well.
I knew I knew what I wanted to happen. Honestly, in my notes, a lot of it focused on the different ways I was going to handle the scene of Rosie in the ambulance, Rosie at the hospital. Every other scene switch says the rest of the gang is at Maniac's Pizza. They talk about whatever. And then it goes
But
back at Maniacs. So
you've said it before, though. You can turn us / these amazing fuckers loose on any topic of conversation. Just let them talk, and they beautiful shit happens.
That's because I didn't know what was going to happen, and we didn't know until earlier tonight, before the session, a couple hours, that M wasn't going to be here. So there's no telling what your conversation was going to be. I didn't even know what you guys were going to do there. The only thing I knew when you were going to Maniac's Pizza, and make sure you write this on your character sheet, that you have a shoebox with 2 wooden stakes in it.
Okay.
And then I knew the Rosie stuff. Rosie
Now,
will
when I get back home, do I still have my vintage baseball cards?
Oh my god.
you had
you
them
better.
in your you had them in your backpack.
Yeah,
in fact,
they were in my backpack. So
if you want to, I'll tell you this now, and sure, the audience is hearing this.
How
Whatever.
big is Billy's backpack?
He's got a
Bag of holding.
There's
European, like the European, like I'm gonna go backpacking for 3 months kind of backpack.
There's a definite metaphysical nature to all of your backpacks. They don't always mean what's literally in your backpack, but sometimes they do. But I will tell you this: keep it in your back pocket for a future scene, Ted. When you get back home, Billy does have the other shoebox with the baseball cards. Both shoe boxes are identical with the identical writing, and not just that they look the same. They appear to be the exact same box. Every single wrinkle, crease, mark, piece of dust looks identical.
that is creepy and awesome.
Excellent session as always. Thank you again, as always, for indulging me as I take your characters on some weird trips, and you guys just go along for the ride. I do want to say before we start to sign off here, though, Rosie or Carrie, what did you think your fate was, Rosie's fate was, following the accident?
Well, so if I'm being totally honest, it went almost exactly the way I thought it was going to go. However, I thought it could go that way, or I was thinking Rosie pops right up and is fine right there on the pavement. I was thinking you could do that, but I didn't. Then I would think, no, Jake's going to want to have more fun with it than that. And then I thought the other option was Rosie's in a fucking coma, and is for a while.
I will tell you, I seriously thought
Coma?
I seriously thought coma, and I thought, no, I don't want to force a party split like this. But given the foreshadowing that happened in shop class, I knew that was something that wasn't going to be able to be dragged out. That was the Chekhov's gun, was the foreshadowing in shop, and then the firing of Chekhov's gun was technically both the end of this session with you getting hit, but also that revelation partway through this session.
That was great. Really
this was
good.
a case of not necessarily trying to pull the wool over the audience's or your eyes. It was pretty well telegraphed, because you guys were picking up on stuff pretty quickly with that. So quick inventory. Rosie now appears to possibly be indestructible. Billy's a werewolf. Coop hears voices and or can talk telepathically to things or people. Oak appears to have some sort of time manipulation properties, unless he wants them to work. And Jessica has a reflection, and the two of them have some unique powers between them. And Laz got a skateboard.
Laz has the power of love.
And Laz got the girl.
He's like
The sarcastic attitude.
He's
Huey
the guy
Lewis
on
and the
Captain
news
Planet.
starts right
Yes.
now.
That's the power of love.
Poor bastard.
He's like the kid in Captain Planet who was the power of heart.
Oh,
which
The power of heart.
also,
with the power of fire.
so bringing it around, the title of this episode, Little Slices of Death,
Oh yeah,
was a play on words, because we were dealing with the Rosie thing, but also I knew you guys were going to Maniac Pizza. But it's
Pizza,
actually from, I forget which work, but it's from Edgar Allan Poe, who says, the whole quote says something like, sleep, those little slices of death. And then it goes on to talk about it. But little slices of death refers to sleep as being like little pieces of death. You're close to death, and you're towing the line between life and death. It just the
Cool.
fact that it worked on 2 levels was just serendipitous.
It's perfect.
So
Wow. Wow. Amazing.
all right.
Everybody.
Thank you to everybody who tuned in, whether you're hanging out in the chat. We love seeing everybody there that joined us in the chat. Or you're somebody that likes to lurk quietly in the chat, or you're going to you're watching us later on the VOD. We appreciate you. Just love we love sharing our games with you. You know, we'd play this game anyway if nobody was watching, but the fact that we can share it with others and others take enjoyment out of it is just bonus. And speaking of the VODs, of course, you can catch VODs of all of our games over at youtube.com/mini-terrain-domain. The entire first season of Welcome to Paradise, Michigan is there. And usually I post those on the weekend. I got a little bit behind and didn't post them until yesterday of this week. But usually within about a week or so, I will have those videos up online for you to watch those. You can, of course, join us on Monday nights for Scribes and Scrolls. You can join us on every other Tuesday for Sky Metal Iron Gods, our D&D game. Every Thursday for Welcome to Paradise Academy. And a week from Friday, you can catch Ted and I over on the Nerdarchy YouTube channel for the next session of The Old Guard. And if you keep your ear to the ground and listen up, sometime in the future, I may, myself and Jeremy may be popping up on a couple other channels, or on Jeremy's channel, or here, there, and everywhere. So with that, I just want to say a final thank you, as always, to the best freaking players and friends that I could ask for. Just awesome human beings that I love sharing this virtual space and these collaborative stories with. Thank you so much to Chad, to Miko, Carrie, Ted, and Jeremy. And though they weren't with us tonight, they were with us in spirit, M, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream. You can say it with me if you want.
You know what? I bet Yetis have really small nards.